On February 22nd, Jose Ibarra put on a black hat, a hoodie-style jacket, and some black kitchen-style disposable gloves, and he went hunting for females on the University of Georgia's campus.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Do not miss America Fest 2024. It's happening December the 19th through the 22nd at the Phoenix Convention Center right here in my home city. Get ready to hear from top speakers, including myself, Tucker Carlson, Matt Gaetz, whom I love. I met Matt Gaetz in person. That dude is just as cool as he is when you see him on the television. We got Don Trump Jr. and many more of the nation's top speakers. You'll connect with thousands of patriots, enjoy live concerts, and develop leadership skills that will energize you to make a difference in your community. Secure a spot today. Use promo code Tatum and get 25% off general admission at ampfest.com. See y'all at America Fest. Let's go. So we're going to go to Laken Riley real quick because we had it on the agenda to talk about. And so we'll talk about Laken Riley, and then we're going to go to Brandon Johnson, and then I got to get home to my family. So it's so many things to talk about. I may do a few. So let's go to the news clip. Is this the one where they do the 911 call? I don't know if I want to listen to the 911 call. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Like, I listened to that 911 call earlier, and it turned my stomach, and it made me angry, and it made me feel emotional, and I didn't want that. And I know a lot of people that's not used to hearing stuff so heinous. You probably don't want to hear that. Maybe on another time, or you know, when we reproduce this, maybe on Rumble, we'll add that part in here, so you guys can listen to it if you like. But we're not. I don't want to listen to it because I heard it earlier, and it bothered me that man did Laken Riley like that. And these Democrats, wait till the trial is going, and people are going to watch this trial, and they're going to see how heinous this guy was. This illegal alien that should have never been in our country, that I think he got deported a couple times. He had committed other crimes. And the fact that at the State of the Union, they didn't even address this. They said, say Laken Riley's name. And Joe Biden called her Lincoln Riley, like the football coach.
Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we change the dynamic at the border.
He didn't even know who she was. Didn't have a plan to bring her up. Didn't say nothing about her family or nothing. These people didn't care. This was one of the most heinous crimes by an illegal alien in American history. And they didn't bring it up. They don't want you to hear about it. Roll the clip.
Trial is underway for the man accused of killing Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. Body camera video played in court today shows the moment officers found the 22-year-old's body. The killing added fuel to the national debate over immigration when authorities announced suspect Jose Ibarra was in the U.S. illegally. ABC's Morgan Norwood is following that trial for us. And Morgan, let's start with this body cam video. What did it show, and what other testimony have you heard so far today?
Hi, Dan. Good to be with you. Yeah, we know that court just broke for recess just a short time ago, but I kind of want to give you a run-through, or a rundown, rather, of what we've heard throughout the day, beginning with opening statements, because I think those were really poignant moments in the beginning of this trial. The prosecution told the judge, and painting this picture to the judge, saying that Jose Ibarra had this all planned out, right? They say that he essentially went hunting for women to sexually assault at UGA back in February, and then found Laken Riley on her morning jog. It was routine for her, brutally beat her to death, and then strangled her allegedly when she tried to get away back in February. So in terms of the evidence presented today and the testimony, we do hear that body camera video to point out it was too graphic to be shown, but it essentially details the moment that authorities found Laken Riley's body on that trail. The officer who found her can be heard frantically calling for backup, starting several rounds of CPR, but to no avail. We did see Jose Ibarra listening in. He had on headphones. We also saw that officer as well, and you could tell at times it was really difficult for him to listen back to that moment. That officer also testifying and telling a judge that Laken's clothing had been partially removed and describing how she had been found. Really graphic details there. We also heard the 911 calls, Diane. I mean, this is just a buildup of evidence as the prosecution rather, tries to illustrate this tragedy to the judge.
Where is the defense trying to raise reasonable doubt so far?
Yeah, so the defense, of course, is calling this a tragedy, right? They say that the evidence that the prosecution has raised so far and will show, it says that it says that this evidence here is circumstantial. And they also accuse them of exploiting this tragedy, right, amid the national immigration debate that you pointed out at the top of the show, in which, of course, we know Republicans and Democrats have leaned heavily into in the months before the November election. We expect them to really refute and lean into how this evidence was gathered, Diane. They also claim that there was little biological or physical evidence to tie Ibarra to this scene. So it'll be really interesting to see how they navigate and how they litigate this case over the next few days.
And Morgan, we know Ibarra waived his right to a jury trial, so this will be up to the judge. Walk us through what you're expecting from the rest of this trial as they lead up to the judge making that decision.
Hold on before
it's
you
a
get
good
to
question.
that point.
So it's going to look a little.
Let's talk about a little bit of the forensics real quick, because according to the forensic evidence that was found, it says prosecutors, they highlight that Riley's resistance led to the collection of forensic evidence linking this dummy to the crime. It says this incident where the dummy's DNA was found under Riley's fingernails, blood stain on the jacket, and his fingerprints, the dummy's fingerprints on her phone.
On February 22nd, Jose Ibarra put on a black hat, a hoodie-style jacket, and some black kitchen-style disposable gloves. And he went hunting for females on the University of Georgia's campus. And in his hunt, he encountered 22-year-old Laken Riley on her morning jog. And when Laken Riley refused to be his rape victim, he bashed her skull in with a rock repeatedly. That is what this case is all about. The evidence will show that Laken fought. She fought for her life. She fought for her dignity. And in that fight, she caused this defendant to leave forensic evidence behind. She also marked her killer for the entire world to see. The forensic evidence that he left behind in this fight is his DNA, and only his DNA and Laken's, underneath Laken's right fingernails. He also left behind in a struggle with her over her phone, because the court will hear that she called 911. He left behind his left thumbprint on her iPhone, which was found not far from her body at the crime scene. And it is that forensic evidence alone that would give you enough evidence to find him guilty as charged on the counts in this indictment. But the evidence in this case will come in basically three forms. There'll be forensic evidence, there will be digital evidence, and there will be video evidence. And all three forms of those evidence will point to one person, Jose Ibarra, as the killer of Laken Riley.
Now, they have a 911 call. They can place the time in which this occurred. And if they find signs of a struggle, blood, DNA skin sample under her fingernails, his fingerprints on her cell phone, which they can go back and listen to the cell phone 911 call where he was trying to take the phone away from her because he got charged for that, trying to obstruct her from calling 911. All of that circumstantial evidence will put him away for the rest of his life. Easy. I could prosecute that case. And I want y'all to pay attention to this. How many Democrats are going to come out and give condolences or mention Laken Riley? How many are going to do it? How many are going to post pictures and anything showing support of this young woman's family and talk about her tragic death? Nobody. Oh, but George Floyd to get all the coverage. When I think Laken Riley's death was more tragic than George Floyd. Think about this for a minute. Let's put this together. George Floyd got funerals when all of y'all had to sit outside and couldn't see your mama die in the hospital bed because of the Fauci ouchie, the Chinese virus. But that fool got 2 funerals where all the celebrities can come together from all over the country to go and attend his funeral. He got statues. They want George Floyd laws. They did all of this for this guy when he was resisting arrest and a cop was overzealous. That's it. That's all that happened. Laken Riley was targeted. This guy was searching for somebody to take advantage of. He was searching for him. He found her. He brutally beat her to death. She fought for her life for 18 minutes. She tried to call 911 to no avail. She was brutally beat to death. You know, beat to death, people done got beat up pretty bad. When somebody beats you till you die, that's brutality. That's something that's they're in the courtroom, they're going to have pictures and they're going to put it all up there. They're going to present that. And I don't know if they'll present it because they don't have a jury, but they probably will present it to the judge. It's going to be visible. Somebody's going to have to look at it. The prosecution had an opportunity to look at it. The defense is going to have to talk about it. But they're going to show her mangled body that this illegal alien who's a criminal targeted and killed her. That's a lot more tragic, and that's a lot more graphic and gruesome than what happened to George Floyd and some of these other idiots that were killed by police justifiably. And they won't even bring her name up. Young men getting killed in the middle of the street, they won't bring their name up. They won't talk about it. They won't do any of it. And it's a shame. My hope is that they put this guy to death. Now, I don't know if they still have the death penalty in Georgia, but when you premeditate to do this to a young lady and you are illegally in this country and you have prior criminal behavior, the next minute, the next morning, I think they shouldn't have due process if you're an illegal alien in America. You're not a citizen. You don't have rights to the Constitution of the United States of America because you're not a citizen. So you don't have due process. All they need is a little circumstantial evidence, and that should be enough to put you away. That's how I feel. You're illegal. You're not a citizen. This don't apply to you. Essentially, you're a domestic terrorist, and they should treat you like one. All right.